Happy Halloween! Welcome back to Michelle Loves Books. I am Michelle, and today I'm doing the Halloween book tag. This tag was created by Naomi the Book Lover, and one of her rules was that you had to dress up in a costume. So it just so happens that my husband just got me my Ravenclaw robe from Universal Studios. Not that I have any grown-up parties to go to or anything to dress up for, but I do take my kids trick-or-treating, so I'll be dressing up with them. The first question is carving pumpkins. What book would you carve up and light on fire? This one is a book called A Hidden Monster. It is the first in a series called Monsters Among Us. And I actually didn't even finish this book. I had received this as an e-arc or an ebook from a Goodreads giveaway, and it took me a little while to even get around to reading it. I thought that it was legitimately about monsters, more of the metaphorical human kind of monsters, but I still didn't even get that far enough into it. I only got about 15% into it before I had to DNF it. It's basically about a girl who gets kidnapped and then she gets free and then she's dealing with the trauma of being kidnapped. And I really hate to say something so awful that's directed at the author, because I usually just keep my negative opinions just about the story alone, but I genuinely felt that this was overall written really poorly. So I'm really sorry, I hate to say that, but that's my honest opinion. Basically, here's what I got from all of 15% of it that I read. The most important thing about a person is whether they are hot or not. Now granted, that could just be the main character's outlook on life. Her mother is also described simply as just being beautiful, as well as her twin sisters. Her twin sisters are both models. Apparently, both of her twin sisters are models, which is also incredibly casually surmised that they both have eating disorders. And it's explained like it is just common knowledge or expected. Blake is the token love interest of the story, who is also, believe it or not, hot. Blake is repeatedly called a shameless flirt, literally 2 to 3 times in every conversation. But it doesn't even seem like there's time for him to flirt, in my opinion, because everything moves so fast, which seems incredibly unrealistic coming from a girl who was just kidnapped. Another really big problem about this is that she's supposedly not girly because she bikes and runs, and she has more of an athletic body, which she feels is inferior to a model body. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the kind of person that feels like every book needs to set an example or should not talk about certain things because it needs to make sure it's not damaging to anybody. That is not me at all. Also, I completely feel like characters should be dumb sometimes, or misinformed, or have insecurities about themselves. But I think that it needs to be written in a way that it's obvious that it's not just the rules of this universe and that's the way things are, which is very much the tone of this. She's got more of just an insecurity and that's just her opinion. Then I would probably continue reading the book and hope for some growth in that department. Anyways, it was just, but it's supposedly supposed to be the first in a series. I don't know. But that's the book I would put to carve up and set on fire. Question number 2 is trick or treat. Which character is a trick and which character is a treat? Kaz Brekker from Six of Crows definitely has to be a trick. He is so clever that you never know what's gonna happen next. You can't anticipate how the story's going to come out because Kaz Brekker is always thinking ahead. They seem to be doomed. Kaz Brekker has a trick up his sleeve to get out of it and spin it to his benefit. So I thought that he's a perfect character. The character for a treat would definitely have to be Simon in Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. He is just so sweet. He's such a good kid. I loved him so much. Question number 3 is candy corn. What book is always sweet? You're probably gonna kill me, but I have to go with Twilight for this one. It's one of those ones I've actually read several times, and it's kind of like my comfort food book. Question number 4 is ghosts. What character would you like to visit you as a ghost? This one was actually really difficult. I definitely would pick a character who's funny, maybe witty. I ended up putting Ron Weasley for my answer for this, but there would be so many characters that would be great. I would love to hang out with them as a ghost. I think Ron would just make me laugh. He'd be like, bloody hell, what's going on here? You can see through my hand, or like, I just walked through a wall or something. Like, he would just, I think that he would be so appalled at everything that he would just make me laugh. Or Nikolai Lansov from the Grisha trilogy, or from the Grisha universe. But Nikolai Lansov, because he's just really funny. Question number 5 is dressing up in costume. Which character would you want to be for a day? I think that's kind of obvious. They're mowing the lawn. I don't know how loud that is for you guys. Okay, they're kind of going away now. About freaking time. Every time I try to film. Question number 6. Witches and wizards. What is your favorite Harry Potter moment? When Hagrid bursts into the little cabin and delivers Harry's letter to him in person. Harry finds out that he's a wizard and he can go off to Hogwarts. I guess that kind of blends into a lot of other moments. But I guess that whole process of him discovering who he really is. Question number 7, blood and gore. What book was so creepy that you had to take a break from it for a while? This one's kind of hard because I've never really read any horror novels. Not that I'm opposed to it. I know a lot of people just don't like to be scared like that. And that's not really like why I haven't. I just haven't. But I think the closest thing, and it's not even like a horror book, it's actually a science fiction book from the first Starbound novel called These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman. Throughout the book, so characters, the ship that they're in crashes into a deserted planet. They start trekking across this desert wasteland of a planet. There's just this ominous, eerie feeling, and the closer they get to this place to try and hopefully get help, the more intense this feeling gets. And it just like escalates until there's a few moments towards the end, and I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. It did get really weird though, and I almost was gonna DNF the book for a couple reasons, which I'm glad I didn't. I finished it out, but then I was just kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this book, and so I wasn't going to continue the series. This summer it just worked out and I went ahead and finished the series, and I'm so glad that I did. That's one of those trilogies that actually gets better with each book. So that's the end of this book tag. I had a lot of fun doing this, so thanks for watching. Bye.